Hello, young man. I'm glad you're here to listen to my story. A story of struggle, of perseverance, and of overcoming one of the most debilitating mental obstacles: perfectionism. You see, I used to be a slave to my own high standards, always striving for perfection in every aspect of my life, from my crime-fighting skills to my personal relationships. But as time went on, I realized that this relentless pursuit of perfection was taking a toll on my mental health, causing me anxiety, stress, and a deep-seated fear of failure. I remember the first time I faced my perfectionism head-on. It was during a particularly tough case where I had to make a difficult decision that would put the lives of innocent people at risk. I was torn between my duty to protect the people of Gotham and my own fear of making a mistake. I spent hours agonizing over the decision, weighing every possible outcome, and second-guessing myself at every turn. But as the clock ticked down, I knew I had to act. I took a deep breath, trusted my instincts, and made the decision. If it's civil rights. It wasn't perfect, of course. There were consequences to my actions, and not everyone was happy with the outcome. But as I reflected on the experience, I realized that my perfectionism had almost paralyzed me. I had been so focused on avoiding mistakes that I had forgotten the importance of taking action, of trying, and of learning from my errors. It was a hard lesson to learn, but it was one that would change the course of my life forever. From that day on, I made a conscious effort to overcome my perfectionism. I started to focus on progress rather than perfection. I learned to accept that mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process, and that it's okay to not have all the answers. I began to prioritize self-care, taking time to meditate, exercise, and connect with the people I love. And I started to reframe my thinking, focusing on the positive aspects of a situation, rather than getting bogged down by the negative. It wasn't easy, of course. There were still times when my perfectionism would creep in, when I would feel the familiar pangs of anxiety and self-doubt. But I had learned to recognize the signs, to take a step back, and to remind myself that it's okay to not be perfect. I'd learned to be kind to myself, to acknowledge my limitations, and to focus on the things that truly matter. As I look back on my journey, I realize that overcoming perfectionism is a process that takes time, effort, and patience. It's a journey that requires self-awareness, self-compassion, and a willingness to take risks. But I can tell you that it's worth it. When you let go of the need for perfection, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You start to see that mistakes are not failures, but opportunities for growth and learning. You start to understand that it's okay to not have all the answers, and that sometimes the best thing you can do is to simply take action. So, if you're struggling with perfectionism, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that it's okay to make mistakes, and that it's okay to not be perfect. I want you to know that you have the power to overcome your perfectionism, to focus on progress, and to prioritize your own well-being. Remember that you are not defined by your mistakes, but by your ability to learn from them. Remember that you are strong, capable, and deserving of love and respect, regardless of your flaws. As you embark on your own journey, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts. First, be kind to yourself. Remember that you are human, and that it's okay to make mistakes. Second, focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate your small wins, and don't be too hard on yourself when things don't go as planned. Third, prioritize self-care. Take time to meditate, exercise, and connect with the people you love. And finally, remember that you are not alone. There are people who care about you, who want to support you, and who believe in your ability to overcome any obstacle. In conclusion, overcoming perfectionism is a journey that requires courage, resilience, and patience. But I promise you that it's worth it. When you let go of the need for perfection, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You start to see that mistakes are not failures, but opportunities for growth and learning. And you start to understand that it's okay to not have all the answers, and that sometimes the best thing you can do is to simply take action. So, I hope that my story has inspired you to take the first step towards overcoming your own perfectionism. I hope that you have learned that it's okay to make mistakes, and that it's okay to not be perfect. And I hope that you will continue to prioritize your own well-being, to focus on progress, and to celebrate your small wins. And if you feel this talk helpful, don't forget like and subscribe. And if you want to be a more grateful person, you can donate on the Patreon account. Link on description. See you soon, friend.